Hey guys, this is Scott Horne with the Owner Finance Network, and we're just going to talk a minute about how a creative finance deal, subject to whatever it might be, really helps to solve sellers' problems that are out there, which is what our primary goal is in the industry. And so if you like the video, guys, please take a minute and like it for us. If you got any questions, you can click below and ask. We'll do our best to get back to you on those. And don't forget to come join us over on our YouTube channel as well. So, solving problems through creative finance. Guys, it's a big thing, and it really is. And it's what has truly been needed for so long, has been going on. And I've been in this sphere now for 30 some odd years. Of course, before 2014, 2015, it was never called Sub 2. It was called a silent assumption is what we basically called it back in those days. As we say, same thing, only different. But it was always about solving a problem. And our sellers who are in bad situations have lots of problems that need to be solved. And this is truly the fix. I find it really interesting when I was talking to one of my title gals out in Arizona on training recently. She was asking questions just like, why would anybody do this? They're going to sell their house subject to the existing debt. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And it's like, yeah. And they're going, I would never do it. And it's like, why? And it's like, well, you're not in their situation and in their place. And when sellers are out of options, they're looking for a solution. And that is where we as the investor come into play to help our sellers. And it's really a five-star solution for us, and it's a win-win-win across the board. So just to take a moment and throw some things out there, what's the first thing a seller needs? Well, obviously they have payment issues because most of the time they're behind in payments. That could happen from medical issues, job loss, transfer, multiple things, divorce. I could go on and on with issues that can be out there, but they have gotten behind in payments. Of course, they always think they're going to be able to get caught up, they're going to save money, but this hits them and then that hits them and something else hits them. And now they're not a month behind or 2 months behind, they're 6 months behind. They're a year behind. Oh my gosh, I bought one house that was 6 years behind. It's like I would have been thrown under the mortgage jail if that was me. How they get away with that, I don't know. But our sellers have issues and problems from a payment perspective that they need resolution with. The next thing is so often they need things to happen quickly. And what I mean by that is so often our sellers are in pre-foreclosure. They always think that the white knight's going to come in, they're going to win the lottery, whatever it might be, and they're going to get all this money to bring their loan current, and they're going to save the day. Life happens, things happen, and now they're stuck and they can't know the solution. They've got a week, they've got 2 weeks, they have 3 weeks before foreclosure. No way a standard retail deal is going to work. And 99.4% of the time, a cash deal is going to be way less than what they have afford. And of course, they don't have the money to bring the loan current. And so speed is the main thing. Get the deal done, stop the foreclosure, help save their credit. So I think that's one of the main things they look at also. The other thing they don't understand is that their homes so often, and this is more often than not, they all need work done to them. They're not going to pass the repair standards. And for a house to go retail, it's got to meet all the proper standards. If you got foundation issues, they want them done before closing. If it has sewer line issues, roof issues, this issue, that issue, whatever it might be, they want these things done before closing, and the sellers simply don't have the funds to do it. And buyers don't want to buy a house, except for we investors, to move into on a retail basis where they have to do work to the home. You might find those few sellers out there, but then traditional financing isn't going to work for that. They have to go to their bank to close the deal, get money for repairs and whatnot, get the repairs done, then refinance into the permanent mortgage. And now they're paying 2 sets of closing costs and fees and things like that. And in those situations, there's going to be a discount, just like we investors offer in most cases. Maybe not quite as much, but there's going to be a discount. And again, the sellers can't afford that either. So they're stuck. So, what do? Then you come across sellers who maybe the house isn't as bad as I'm laying out and some of these other deals are, but maybe they have legitimate equity in the deal. Maybe it's 20,000, maybe it's 100,000. It's across the board with things that we see out there, and they want to make that happen. So how do you structure that? And I think there's many, many ways you can talk to the seller about equity that will wind up working for you as the investor. So what does that look like? Maybe it is cash. Maybe it's just walk away cash, a few $1,000s so they can move and get into their apartment. Maybe it's walk away cash and some equity. So on top of that, so additional cash. Maybe it's a note. It could be a note that is interest bearing. It could be a note that has no interest, that's principal only. As they always say out there, I'll pay you X at my price, but if you want me to pay your price, it's on my terms. And so they look at things that way, and you get a chance to structure the deal that works for both the seller and you as the investor. And personally, that's really kind of the fun part of our business, is the structuring of that transaction so that it works for both the seller and the buyer. And getting good at that and having the proper presentation is what works. And every deal that you approach is going to have a different solution. There's not a one size fit all. Every deal we do, every seller we work with is going to come in and be in a different situation and needs our help. So from there, also, I'll just say sellers are looking for quick, simple, straightforward deals. They don't want to go through all this menagerie and all these issues and whatnot. And I'm going to throw out some examples of what I mean. I've structured one deal where it was more wise to transfer the property into a land trust that the seller owns and have the seller sell the beneficial interest. You present that to a seller and or to a realtor, they go, "What?" They have no idea what you're talking about. I get it. So you have to be able to explain those kind of things properly and correctly. It does put the seller in the exact same position they'd be in if you bought it into your LLC or some other entity. But you've got to make sure you can explain things simply to them so they understand it. If they go to seek an attorney's advice, oh my gosh, so few attorneys understand our business, they're going to blow the deal up in so many cases. And oftentimes the realtors blow it up because they don't understand it. And it's what they don't know, is where they get into trouble along the way. Another positive that we see out there about our business, and some of the things we went through on what sellers are really needing to make this happen. I love this example because it's so true, is where the seller has a first lien mortgage. They've already done a loan modification because they were 3 years behind in payments. They're now another year behind. Bottom line is they couldn't afford this house. They rolled the first 3 years into a loan modification, or a HUD, partial claim deed of trust as we say, which is still a lien on property that has to be settled and paid, but it has no interest, no payments. They didn't even realize they had that because it had happened a year ago, and out of sight, out of mind. Luckily, we always investigate our assets and our properties before you even walk out the front door, so we knew it was out there, and we're able to present it to them and confront them. They go, "Really?" And of course, you always wonder if they're telling you the truth or not when that happens. But in addition, just like with what I had walked through earlier, this house needed $25,000 repairs. No way it could pass retail standards at all. And they would have to bring $40,000 plus to the table to close for a cash investor. Numbers just didn't work. Retail ain't going to work. They are stuck. Realtors can't help them. They have no solutions, no options other than us bringing forward a creative finance transaction on their behalf. At that point, we become the white knight for them, coming in, solving the problem, where we turn around and we can solve their payment issues by taking over the loan. We can get it done quickly in that regard. We can take care of the repair issues, and all these kind of issues pop up. But it was all about the presentation. It was like, "Look, guys, we're going to buy this house." We gave her money to walk away so they could go lease another apartment and have the money to move. It wasn't much, a couple $1,000s at that time. There wasn't any equity, but we gave her back, of course, a deed of trust. And the position was really simple for the explanation standpoint. It's like, "Guys, we're going to bring your loan current. We're going to stop the foreclosure. It's going to give you a credit bounce, and then we're going to make your payments on time. That will help improve your credit." They liked hearing that. "We're going to renovate this home. We're going to make it new again, and put a good quality person in the home to take care of the payments with us along the way. And if we fail to make our payments, you can always take the house back and you don't owe us a dime." Well, that little light bulb goes off in their head. They go, "Really?" They kind of like that. "I don't owe you anything?" Nope. We have the obligation to make the payments and do what we say we're going to do out there. And it really does help to solve that problem one day, and we can get the deal done quickly. Because at this time, by the time we presented it, got everything executed, we had a week before foreclosure, and had to get it knocked out. I know a lot of us run up against that scenario. And guys, just keep this in mind. You know, when we do a deal like this, we put the whole thing together properly, and you wind up helping the seller. You really help the mortgage company, because mortgage companies lose tens of thousands of dollars on foreclosures typically. You help the neighborhood, because now it doesn't have a foreclosure and a vacant house and a blight on the neighborhood where it lowers values. And if you play the game that I play in my businesses, which is seller financing on the back end to home buyers, you're really helping a deserving home buyer get in a good house. And it's a win, 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 win. And the most fun part is we get to make money by doing all that stuff. And when you get that and that light bulb goes off, that's what makes this business fun. I'll make one last comment about the creative finance world, and that is, if you're going to play the creative finance world, make sure you have the reserves to carry your deal. Tenants default. Home buyers default. Houses don't sell as fast as you hope they do. You need to make certain you can make those payments, meet your obligations that you told the seller you would, do the right thing. And if you do those kind of things, guys, awesome business, awesome way to help all of our sellers. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please take a minute and like it as I asked previously. Comment below. We'll do our best to get back to you guys. Join us over on our YouTube channel as well. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.